Hey Sparkers, or Demon Slant, it's me, Sparkers, coming to this video. I am turning Pokemon into mechs this episode, video, and I hope y'all really enjoy it. I really like these designs, and by far, they are the best mech designs I have ever made so far. Well, roll intro and let's get into this video. Let's go! Like and subscribe if you enjoy this video.
Hey, it's me, Kinda Strike, come back at you. I just wanted to have a few mechs I've made. These mechs are very nice. By far, gotta be the best designs I've ever made. The first one is a very interesting one. This one is known as the Chestnut Mech. It's known as that because the user really likes chestnuts, but he also, when he goes on attacks, he always does an onslaught of punches. This mech all these mechs are made to resemble Pokemon, actually. This one was made to resemble the chestnut Pokemon. Very big, has a shell on the back. I did my best to replicate that, but I had to throw away a few designs and incorporate a new other one. On the account that this guy had 5 fingers and one of the 3 big ones from the actual Pokemon, so I incorporated those extra 2 into made smaller. The guy has a gray overline for extra armor on his upper arms, and actually has 2 spikes coming off just in case he needs to slash down, or to, let's say he's fighting an opponent and needs to jump off and leap onto a building, claw into it, stick to it for temporary. So instead of sinking his 3 claws into it, he can jump up and sink those 2 spikes into it. They're actually made for that. Or he can just jump back. And for the record, this mech does actually have spring loads in the actual feet. It's about 2 inches thick and they're very compressed, so he can spring up around 50 feet up. And if he does it at the right angle, he can sink these 4 spikes into a wall in order to pierce into it. And they automatically reload themselves too, using a mechanic that, since whenever they spring out, the mechanic starts reeling them back in. So he can then put his feet onto the ground, onto the building, and push off, leaping off. And for the armor, it's more of a pale color. But the fur parts, basically like the chest, I did for a little gray color. And for the metal parts, which were more of a grayish, I just leave the metal alone. It has 3 sharp claws at the feet, which were interesting to make. Now, this one overall is a very good fighting mech. The thing stands around 6 feet tall, and this guy's around 5'5", so he's relatively short. So that extra 2 inches in the feet, and other than that, it's a pretty decent build. Really strong too. I've seen a few fights. I believe the last fight I've seen the guy get into was up against another mech guy, just a little sparring match. This one was actually made for fighting. It was the Mecha Fist one that was made for Kendos from MUA. A very nice suit too. But now let's get to the next one. The second suit I made was a very nice one. A very big one. 7 feet tall at that. Weighing in around, get this, half a ton. That thing was really heavy too. I had to use some tungsten to make it. It was supposed to be based off of the Glossiopod Pokemon. You know, that thing that has 2 giant arms, 2 giant hands with 2 spikes coming off of, and 2 tiny arms. Yeah, that's what I did. But I downgraded the arms a little, made them a little bit thicker. But I also added those 4 extra arms, 2 on each side. This thing is a relatively powerful mech, too. The guy stands around 6 feet tall. The extra foot is actually in the legs. His arms are freakishly long, too. They actually stretch up to the actual piece of where the arm gets bigger. He actually has some little mechanic built into the mech in order for him to actually use the fingers. And those fingers are really sharp too. They can slice, they're made of tungsten, and they can slice right through pretty much anything that's anything below titanium or tungsten. They even cut through diamond, which is relatively tough. The stuff I made for it, was actually a relatively expensive stuff, my tungsten. That was for the cloth. The rest of it's made of titanium. A very expensive armor. That thing came out around a few million because of how expensive it is. But the guy paid it all up and gave me a little bonus too because of how well he liked it too. Other than that, not really got anything. Okay, now for the character design, well, not really character design. First off, for the last one, I did my best to copy the Pokemon's colors and overall design. I really like it. Now for this one, I also really like it. It's just that that the eyes are one's bigger than the other. I like thinking that like it's more like who do you think you are look. Like he's in a fight, getting ready to spring it. And I'm realizing I made one arm bigger than the other, and a little bit longer too. And caramba, I'm not going to go back and fix that because that took a little while to make, and it's going to be an actual pain to fix that piece. But other than that, I really like the details. These are by far my personal favorite mech designs, but not my best overall best detail design. I've got to give that credit to my first Transformer video. That was really good. Now let's get to the next one. I just wanted to say that the 4 Pokemon I used were completely random, and all of them were usually big, burly, or had very big portions to them. Give me a second to find out which ones I used. The first one I used was Chestnut, which was like a chestnut onslaught kind of name design. Really cool design for the mech suit and the actual Pokemon itself. Really nice. The next one I used was Glycopod, which is actually one of my favorite Pokemon on the account of its design, way it's shaped. I tried to copy the big forearms and big claws of it. I really like this design. The next one, I think, or actually, is the last one or the next one, which was I know the last one was Glycopod, but I believe on that one, I tried making some fingers, but on the next one, it's more of a boxer-like one. Let's get to that, what Pokemon I used for that one. The third Pokemon I used was a crab Pokemon called Crabomble. It's an abominable crab. It looks like a crab yeti kind of mix, yeti crab mix. The name is an okay name I came up with. The next one is one of my personal favorites on the count that I was able to add extra limbs and all that. Let's go see it. The fourth and last one I used was Barkle. It's the mech design for this one was a really nice one. 4 arms and the head, the helmet shape is a really nice one. Like I already stated, I really like all of these designs, and they've by far gotta be the best ones I've ever made so far. So now let's get back to this video. Let's go. Okay, now this next one is more of a boxer one. This guy came in saying that, hey, I really like this one Pokemon, as the Crabomble Pokemon from the games, and me and my friends have been wanting to make a little sport using mechs made of based off Pokemon. I believe 2 other people have actually came in and actually ordered some already. and their suits are relatively powerful, but I am more of a speed boxer type. I really like the big fists, but I'm actually relatively nimble too. So I was wondering if you could make me a suit that is relatively nimble but has very big fists. I asked him if he wants the ability to enlarge his fists or not, because Kendo's suit was relatively similar to this. He said, no, I just want big fists, make them light, so I may use titanium on those fists. The fists alone cost me $500,000 total. The rest of the suit was $250,000, so $7,500,000 for the suit total. No, correction, it was $750,000 just for the suit. The guy actually paid an extra grand because he knew how much I spent, so I just did that. I usually go maybe an extra $500 over, so I have some more money. But the suit we paid an extra grand, which was relatively nice. Now the suit was a little difficult to make because just of the design. The fists are relatively big, but since they're made of titanium, he can lift them up pretty heavily too. All these art guys mostly are heroes, but they actually do box the time. They actually do fight against each other. Now, for this character design, I tried going for a big fist design, and as you can see, all the poses are the same, or relatively similar. And I'm realizing now that the arm on the right hand side is actually bigger than the one on the left. I don't really know why I did that, but I'm still working on proportions. What me and Popcrust actually have in common is like we like to make our limbs bigger. I personally like making big hands or big upper arm. I just like making big arms in general, just to emphasize the amount of power something has behind it, and also to emphasize the power behind the creation or drawing something has. Now, let's get to the next one. Okay, the last suit out of these four that I've made so far is a really nice suit, and it actually has 4 limbs. This one is known as the Tungsten Barbaracle. It was based off the Barbaracle Pokemon, which is an evolution type. This guy had 4 arms and was relatively powerful too. And like the name suggests, the same thing is made of tungsten. Most of it's actually made of titanium, which is most like the arms. But the stuff that I made of the tungsten parts are the chest, the waist, the claws, and the feet and hands, and also the helmet. But everything else is made of titanium, which is the arms and the centerpiece that is connecting the torso to the waist and the neck. Other than that, everything else is made of tungsten. It's relatively powerful too. Now, the suit was actually relatively cheap because of its size, which was actually only around 5 feet tall. The guy was short for crying out loud too. And when I say short, I mean he is around 5 foot tall. So he really liked the suit too. And for this boxing match, I've seen a few videos of them boxing. They know how to fix their suits too. I asked them in a little interview. I asked them, "Hi, how do you know how to fix suits?" They said, "We watched you make them, so we kind of know what to fix and how to fix them. Also, we're mech designers too, so we just came to you because we know you're the best one in town." Which is quite an insult because I'm at least the best in the nation, for crying out loud. Didn't tell them that, or about my mother-in-law on the screen either. Now, yeah, I know I'm basing this character off Benny Sharp I'm basing this character off of Benny Sharp from Popcrust Studios, but I just really like that character. He's hilarious. He's terrible. Just an overall okay character in my for me. If Personally, that character design, it is an okay design. The only difference I would have made was to actually try to make things more even and better proportioned. Now, that's all I got to really say. Well, I hope you'll enjoy these Pokemon mech designs. Till next time, subscribe to your Spectrum or do Monster Alliance. Goodbye and peace out.